Hey everybody, it's John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur here. Welcome to the channel, Inspirations for Your Life. Great to be here with you on this Saturday evening, May 14th, 2022. And if you're new to my channel, you'll notice there's a QR code that just appeared on the top right. Take your phone, scan that QR code. Once you do that, that'll direct you over to my link tree with lots of great information and free videos and ways you can improve your life and help others improve theirs. You'll notice I have a hat on me. It says Believe and Achieve. There's a QR code that takes you to my link tree, actually, right there. And if you can't get there by that way, you can just go to Believe, Believe, me, M-E, and then Achieve, ACHIEVE.com. That'll get you to my link tree as well. All right, so great to be here. Great to see all the new people here. And every week, starting off with Saturday, which is tonight, we have a brand new master topic, and then we have subtopics every single night about the master topic. If you're coming back, well, welcome back, my friends, colleagues, and associates. It is so wonderful to have you here tonight. And hopefully many of my new people will become just like you that have been supporting my channel for so long. Really grateful for all of you guys to be here. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, in case you wanted to know, the topic for tonight is how to say thank you. Series episode 1. Great to be here. Please go ahead, like the channel, give it a thumbs up mark, insightful mark, curious mark, depending on what platform you're on. And then what I would love you to do is, yes, comment below. What is it that you do when you say thank you to somebody? All right. So to get into the word thank you, I'm going to go over to our friends. You know where I'm going. Merriam-Webster. And I'm going to give you the definition as per their dictionary. Thank you. So as per Merriam-Webster, the definition of thank you is a polite expression of one's gratitude. The first known use of thank you was in 1792. Well, that's pretty interesting. The first time the first time someone said thank you was in 1792. Wow. That's pretty interesting if you ask me. Really interesting. And if you're probably wondering, how did the word thank you come about? Well, according to Merriam-Webster, the first known use of thank you, as he said, happened before the 12th century, but it didn't really translate into gratitude back then. The word thank actually came from the Latin word tongere, Tongere, and that means to think. If we translate that very loosely, the expression might read, I will remember what you have done for me. However, English is not the only language where thank you derives from the Latin roots. In Spanish, the word gracias means thank you and derives from the Latin phrase gratias, agir, which means to express thanks. In Italian, grazie is used to say thank you, and it also derives from gratias agir, although similar between English and Spanish. French has a different origin for its phrase of gratitude. Merci derives from the Latin word merci, which it translates to wages, fare, or price. So interesting how this happened. And today we say thank you to anyone and everyone who deserves gratitude, whether it's in English, Mandarin, or any other language, French, Spanish, Chinese, Japanese, of course, English, German. And so the word thank you does have a connotation to expressing gratitude. But when people say thank you, it doesn't really drive the energy that empowers gratitude to help manifest more things. Thank you just comes as a token, like, you held the door open for me. Well, thank you. You're not really pushing energy out of your mind and heart. You're not connecting your chakras, in other words. When should you say thank you? Well, that's a great question, because is it just about being polite? When should you say thank you? Well, when someone compliments you, okay? Maybe when you make a mistake, You thank them for, giving you a tip to correct something before it becomes a problem. When people think of the word thank you, they just see it as a token, but it doesn't really have the embodiment that most people would expect from the word thank you. You hold the door for somebody and they say thank you. If you don't hold the door open and somebody, let's say, goes out, or let's say you hold the door open and they don't say thank you, I know some people get a little bit perturbed and then they say it sarcastically, like, thank you. And then, thank you. And it's like, are they too busy? Do they not want to say thank you? I think it's most of the time that they're just busy and they're not paying attention to the social etiquette. Okay. If you're in line and let's say there's somebody in front of you and maybe they're huffing and puffing and threatening to blow, let's say the containers off the counter. You wouldn't say thank you for that. So that would be kind of ridiculous, right? So when somebody does something and it makes you feel good, it's important to say thank you. Let's drop the piece of paper. It's important to say thank you. But what I want to talk about tonight is how do we say thank you? You understand it's important to say thank you when people do nice things for you, people give you a gift, but how do you say, or I would like to say, ways of saying thank you? Well, that sounds pretty interesting, but how could you say thank you to somebody? Think about that for a moment. How can you express your thanks is really what we want. One thing you could do is you could do something nice for the other person. They hold the door, you hold the door back for them. Maybe your neighbor takes in your mail while you're gone, and maybe to say thanks as an additional, maybe you bring them something back from your trip, like a souvenir, right? Maybe you give them a little token, like you give them a small gift, like $25 or $50 to thank them for the time that they put in, right? So saying thank you is a way of, let's say, refilling your cup. Because when people do things for you, right, your cup kind of gets empty. And so when you say thank you, it's kind of a way of starting to refill the cup. And then the way you really fill the cup is by doing something in kind back for them. Thank you many times relates to something very small and insignificant. But saying thank you could lead to something really major, like getting a big referral job or maybe getting an introduction to somebody. See, thank you in itself is meant to just be a token. However, there are things associated with the word thanks that go well beyond just that simple thank you. Now, what else could you do to thank somebody? Well, maybe they did something nice for you, and maybe you invite them over for dinner or a drink, right? That's one way to say thank you. Maybe if you have a talent, like you're a musician, maybe you write them a song. That's one way to say thank you. Maybe if you're a good cook, maybe you make them something, or maybe you stop at a restaurant and you bring them home dinner. See, it's not so important what you do, but the fact that you do something. It's the thought. You might have heard this before. The thought matters more than what you actually give or do. Because if you did nothing, that person wouldn't really know that you're saying thank you. I mean, a lot of times people say, oh, thanks. And then, it's not like, thank you. Like, when somebody does something nice to me, I don't just say, oh, thanks. I say, oh, thank you. Thank you very much. And they can tell that I'm being sincere. Maybe you remember being in school and, somebody picks up a book, right? And a lot of times when they picked up my book, I was, oh, thanks very much. When I pick it up, somebody's like, oh, thanks. And it's kind of like they expected me to pick it up. Pretty interesting, right? Another way of saying thank you is maybe they do something else nice for you. It could be the fact that you get to the lunchroom, and maybe you get there a little later, and so maybe they hold a spot for you to say thank you. So there are lots of ways you can express a thank you. You can write a poem. I mean, there's just a plethora of ways, right? I'll call it 101 ways. What I'd like to call it 101 ways to say thank you. Now, there's different words you can use, right? But it's not always about a word, right? It's not always about a word. It could be about something you do in your life. Something you do in your life. Maybe you could say thank you to somebody by buying them a book, right? Again, it doesn't have to be anything expensive. Maybe somebody did something nice for you, like, they watched your bag while you went to the restroom if you're at the airport and you don't know that person. Maybe say, oh, thanks very much. Let me buy you a cup of coffee. Thank you for doing that. You see, and when you don't expect something, this is something I've learned after many years of saying thank you and receiving thank yous. If you have the premonition that you expect something in return, you're not going to get it. So just do it. Have fun. Be grateful. Be thankful. And if you get a thanks, great. If you don't, it's a bump in the road, right? You did it because you want to be nice. You didn't do it because you were expecting a thank you, right? Some people say the word thank you because they're waiting with their hand out. They're waiting for a gift. They're waiting for something. There's a difference between being genuine and saying thank you, and saying thank you and, hey, having my hand out waiting for you to pay me or give me something or do something nice for me. I mean, yes, we should do that, but you can't expect it because some people just don't play to that song. And you might say to me, John, well, why don't they play to that song? That's not right. That's not fair. Well, we're not here to align the world. We can try, but we can't do that with everyone. So if somebody does something and they don't say thank you to you, don't be miserable. Just go on your day. Realize that they were busy. Maybe next time they'll say thank you. And, maybe you do something nice to them again, and maybe next time they do say thank you. It's when people get so petty that they got to look at every single detail under a microscope that people feel pressured. They feel pressured. So we're going to talk a lot more about thank you. Thank you is a major force that propels our world forward, and the acts of kindness for each other. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It's been a privilege, pleasure, and honor to be with you this evening, this wonderful Saturday evening, and helping you understand how to say thank you in our series, episode 1. Hey, remember to not only comment, but tag your friends, colleagues, and associates. Share this out with everyone you know on social media. And then be sure, please, to go to my YouTube channel. And below that, look for the key phrase on John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It says help giver content free. Below that, make the choice to click on PayPal and buy my team a cup of coffee. We'll be so grateful with those pennies and dollars. We'll invest them into new hardware, new technology, new equipment, new software, and even new facilities to give you the most jaw-dropping, motivational content. I know that you will appreciate the world of thanks, and other people will be just as delighted that you started to become thankful. Have yourself a great rest of your night, and I will see you tomorrow evening with another episode of Thank You. Until then, I say thank you for your time.